We're out traveling looking for more country property, not for ourselves, we're looking for some friends. And we've gone from house to house so far, and you're going to come along today and we're going to look at some more. Hey everybody, Chad Cruiser with Health and Homestead. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. We have many more videos coming out on both health and homesteading. We're starting our second day of looking at properties, and this is property not for us. My wife and I already have our homestead, but we always enjoy doing this. We've done this for years, and it took us years to finally find our own land that we built on. But this property, and sometimes you don't know. You'd know if you called the realtor, but I was given a list to look at, and as we looked at this particular property, I figured it would be the case because it has a beautiful waterfall, and I figured it'd be very, very steep and not a place for a homestead, more so for like a cabin in the woods where you want to get away to the quiet. And boy, if you're looking for quiet, unbelievable views. You have mountains off this direction. You have over here, you have the waterfall, which is just gorgeous. I mean, it is cascading down the cliff here. And then behind me, back this direction, is where the house would be built. And so there's nothing you could do for agriculture, but boy, would you have a beautiful view of this waterfall. You'd be able to listen to it at night. You have your window open or sit on your porch. I mean, it would be glorious to simply do that. But homesteading, no, this is not a homesteading property. Now, obviously, having a waterfall is nice for anybody. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a waterfall on their property? But the people who are looking to potentially purchase this property, the reason they wanted something like water is they're considering doing hydroelectric as their power source. And you think about there's different ways of getting power to your house. There's being on the grid. That's obviously the standard way that most people live their lives, is being connected to the power grid. They are able to just live their normal life that way. But if you live far enough out in the country, you might want to go off the grid, or even if you do not live very far out, even if you have the option for the grid, you might choose to go off the grid, and you could either go solar, that's one particular option, or another option would be to use micro hydro or hydroelectric power. And doing that obviously would be very nice for a number of reasons, one of which is it could be maybe the very cheapest way to get electricity if you have that option. The difficulty with that is the upfront costs might cost more. And you say, what does that mean? That kind of contradicts itself. What I mean is this: often to get a beautiful water source, like a beautiful waterfall like this, with enough head, enough drop, it's going to cost you more to get that property. Often, not always, but often it is, than to get a property without a water source like this. So the property might cost more, but the actual having the infrastructure to get your electricity is going to be significantly less in general, depending on what your setup is like. But what I mean is, if you were to have a solar system, you're going to spend several $1,000s to get enough electricity to run standard appliances. Now, if you get simpler appliances or appliances that don't take as much electricity, you can have a smaller solar system. But when it comes to hydroelectric, if you have enough water source and enough drop, you're going to have plenty, actually probably more than enough electricity to run just a standard house off of. And so they're hoping to get something with enough water, and that's what we're looking at here. And so yes, this property that we were just showing you is just perfect for that, where it's, I'm guessing 40, 50 feet drop, 40, maybe 40-foot drop, and you do have enough water coming down. So this would be a fantastic property if you're simply looking for solar power. But like we said, it's not the best when you're looking to grow food on this property. So these are some things that you might consider while you're looking at property. I'm not going into too many details on micro hydro right now. I'll hopefully be doing a whole video on that so you can see that in the future. But for now, this gives you an idea of why they might be looking for a water source, a solid water source on this property. This is another mountain property, and it's in a beautiful area. The road getting to it is crazy. It's basically a one-lane road up an extremely steep grade. And my wife, as she was going up, she was saying, what would you do if a car came? And then a car came, and she stopped the car and she said, you're going to drive now. And so I had to drive. But beautiful view, but the trouble is it's very steep. You couldn't do much with the property other than listen to the creek below, which is wonderful. It's a beautiful sound. It'd be great to have your window open at night. That'd be very enjoyable. That music would play for you while you're sleeping. but you can maybe clear a beautiful view, but really this is a cabin property. This is not a homestead type property. But we're gonna head on to our next property now. Well, I think we have found the most promising property. This one here is over 30 acres. It has a beautiful flowing creek and seems like a spring because there's also a pipe coming through with plenty of water coming out of that. But either way, you at least have this beautiful flowing creek here. You have hills, you have an area that looks to me like it could be gardened quite well. You have cedar trees right next to the creek, and you have the rhododendrons, and just a lot of things that are very nice here for someone who might want to have some animals or some sheep or different things. You have an area for that. You also have an open area that you could garden. It does have a slight hill to it, but not a significant hill. I think it could be gardened quite well. And there actually happen to be 3 houses on this property, all of which would need a lot of work. But for the right person, this could be the perfect kind of property. And you actually could add more to the property. So on a number of levels, this is just a great spot. It's in a beautiful community. The whole area is just very, very nice. I'm really impressed with it. And so this right here could be a keeper, depending on what the people who are thinking of purchasing it. It would be really up to them at this point. But at least we can feel like, hey, there's a real potential at this point. Like I said, would need a lot of work, but I know the person who is thinking of buying it. I know they're the kind of person, they've done this in the past. They bought something, fixed it up really nice, and so this might be something that they would be interested in. But at least for now, I feel like we've had a real good trip. You keep looking, keep looking, keep looking until you find something that you are happy with, that you feel the Lord has led you to, that you feel, okay, this is it. I think this is the right property. I'm not saying that's the case for these individuals. I'm just saying for you yourself, if you're on your journey of looking for a country property, keep going and ask the Lord to help guide you, and point by point, He will lead the way. And by the way, if you liked this video and you want to see our next video coming out, it's going to be on several things you want to avoid when looking for a country property, things in the vicinity, things around the house that you might want to avoid when buying a property. You don't want to miss this video. It's going to be, as soon as it's up, it'll be right here. You don't want to miss that. And if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. God bless and have a fantastic day.